My name is Vincent Muhoro, a social entrepreneur based in Laikipia, Kenya. I'm in the food and beverage industry, and currently, what we have in our markets is that we've got beverages that are full of sugar, beverages that have been overprocessed or rather have been processed in the wrong way. And so the cactus comes in because it's nutritious, it's delicious, and it actually reduces sugar spikes by 20%, which has been proven by science. The biggest challenge I'd say is getting access to investment. Number one, that will be the biggest challenge because it's mostly a catch-22 situation where people want to see traction before they can invest in you. And for you to get that traction, you need an investment. And so, as a young entrepreneur who isn't from quote unquote a very rich background, and with the regulatory space in Kenya which you have to overcome, which costs money, it becomes a tricky situation. My inspiration around creating Dunia Bora, which actually means a better world, is because I'm driven towards creating and improving the livelihoods of my community. I grew up in Laikipia County, which is a pretty dry place. However, there are plants that already do well in this region, such as the cactus plant, such as the acacia. And so my outlook was, how comes people around here are always broke? How comes the ecology is getting even worse? What can we do to improve this region? How comes we have not produced any big brand from places like Laikipia? The ClimateLaunchpad helped us understand the hidden costs that are involved in running a business. And so when we are able now to look at our unique economics or even do our financial projections, we are able to look at the business not just from a superficial point of view, not just looking at the rosy numbers. We are able to have the hard conversations about what exactly, say, is the cost of customer acquisition, how much work and labor is supposed to go into that. And so what it helped us realize was actually be able to come up with correct figures and correct projections. When you probably start a business, you have this rosy imagination about how easy and how fast it will be to create and run a business. But then when you hit the ground, you get to realize that you have to look at the business as a whole ecosystem. And so for us, we've been able to understand that you have to have a very deep and intricate understanding of each and every element of your work. And you need to sort of create, by creating a social enterprise or rather a circular economy business, it's sort of you're building an ecosystem most of the time, or even tapping into existing one. First, put your foot in, regardless of whether you start with the big toe or the small toe. Just put your foot in, and you're gonna learn. But the thing is also, if you are talking about changing creating a whole system around your work, you have to also acknowledge and understand that you have to have a starting point. And I think that's one of the earliest mistakes that I made, because we drew our energy too thin. We invested so much in R&D, we created so many products until we got to realize that you can have like 10 innovations, but it doesn't mean you all of them have an equal chance of generating revenue or even income. So put your foot in, but then have a clear understanding of where you want to start or what you can start with. Yeah.